Lisa.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. It is such a pleasure to meet with you. This is so cool. I'm a
Thank
huge fan of
you.
yours and a huge fan of Bel Air.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
So, I want to get started with some cool facts about you. So, first of all, you have worked in so many different diverse roles, so many different characters, so much range with you,
Thank
right?
you. Thank you.
And I noticed that you also have a background where you studied at NYU Tisch as well.
I went to graduate school there.
Yeah, so I actually personally outside of my blog, I'm an NYU student. I'm a grad student as well.
Oh,
Yes.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Hello, alum.
Yes, 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 yes. So I'm so inspired. So can you tell my audience and yours, how has your experience as a Tisch student sort of helped you as an actress until now? Like how has it molded your creative journey?
Two big things that come to mind is there's one teacher, I mean, there were so many teachers, but you know what I think makes the NYU acting program so great and so many great actors have come out of there is there's a teacher there named Jim Calder. And Jim
Mm,
Calder, there's a class where no matter what you do, he'll be like, that's great, but you can believe more, yeah? Like no matter
mhm,
what you do, the exercise is can you believe more? Think about the exercise of that. And you can drive yourself crazy trying to go to the limits, where many schools are just happy that you attempted or maybe a tear fell. And he's like, but what's on the other side of a tear? I mean, you can feel more than a tear, you can feel more than just anger. Like, human beings are complex, vast people. Thank God for Jim Calder. And the other thing is that they have such an outstanding showcase. And so the showcase is what you get at the end of your
mhm.
program at 3 years, where you do in front of agents and managers and stuff. And out of that is how I got Spike Lee. His casting director was there, and that's how I got cast in my first, anything in this industry. So I think those two things alone are a standout for that school.
So thank you for sharing that. So ironically, I follow Spike Lee on Threads, and he shared today that he is a full-time tenure professor now at Tisch. So that's interesting to see that.
Has
So
he not
coming,
been this whole time?
I think he hasn't been talking about it much, but I believe he has
I mean,
been.
I went to school 20 years ago and he was already, I thought, the head of the department. So, okay.
Yeah, well, that's amazing. So segueing into our next question talks about your current role now on Bel Air as we know and love you as Aunt Viv. So can you tell us how Aunt Viv has grown or changed since season one to season four?
Yeah, Aunt Viv starts off as a politician's wife. She looks like, that Michelle Obama,
Mhm.
perfect hair, trying to fit in, not make too much noise. And she was super focused on raising her kids. You didn't even know she had a passion of art until it sort of got drizzled out. And until
Mhm.
someone told her she wasn't an artist, did she finally realize, wait a minute, I am still an artist. So she goes from someone who's living a shadow artist life to really like embracing the full expansiveness of her artistry and also creating her own fellowship at the end of her own arts organization. That's a huge curve. She also ends up having radical conversations with her husband, demanding more space and freedom in her own personal artistic life. She becomes someone who's in the backseat of her life who decides to get the keys and drive her own life. And I think you see that by the end of the show. It's something so slight, but at the end of the show, Akira, Leah, her eldest daughter becomes like the one who holds the baby walking out the door. When they're
Mhm.
in the church, it's Uncle Phil who's holding the baby. She's not the one exhausted, giving her whole life energy. She's like, no, we're going to all raise this baby and create a life where I can have balance.
So we see in season four, or it's to come up if it hasn't aired already. Jabari has a moment with Future Will, or with himself rather, right? Um, Now, what would you do if Aunt Viv from The Fresh Prince was to come to Bel Air and to sit with Aunt Viv on this show? How would you have that conversation between the two characters?
You want me to write a scene for you? So Janet, so did you see the whole show yet?
I almost did. Yes, yes,
So
yes.
there is an episode where Janet Hubert's on the show. You saw that scene?
Yes, I saw that.
Okay.
Yes.
So outside of that, another scene where she's actually the character Aunt Viv of the future, right?
hmm
Uh, I think she'd say something like, I think the conversation would be a bit of a tug of war about. I think actually maybe the Janet Hubert of the past would be so shocked to see how free
Hmm.
this
Hmm.
Aunt Viv is. And this Aunt Viv would say, you know, we don't have to pretend to fit.
Hmm.
And I think the other Janet Hubert would be like, I'm not pretending. And she was like, I think we are pretending a bit. I think we don't need the
Hmm.
accent.
Hmm.
I don't think we even need the clothes. I mean, even the way Aunt Viv dresses at then is so bohemian. And the original Aunt Viv had such structured shoulder pads, such a
Yeah.
structured look, which is of the time. But how femininity is shown today is so different. And this Aunt Viv really wanted to be more feminine and vulnerable and really much more in her Philadelphia-ness
Hmm.
instead of her like education. Like she's not showing off her education in this version of Aunt Viv. So I think it would be an interesting conversation about what is appropriate. And I think my version would say, it's okay to come to this side. Come to your soft life. She'd be like, what's a soft life?
I think that's something we all and I will argue for the feminine community for most of us. We want to be softer these days. We want to be expressive. We want to be authentic. I feel like that is conveyed on screen with on Viv, but also off screen. Many women seem to look up to her character. They seem to tune in for her for what I've seen on media and for you as well. What are your favorite moments of from Aunt Viv this season, or even from any of the other cast members or anyone that you interact with?
Some of my favorite things, you know, Janet Hubert this season with Tyra Banks this season is so great. Anytime I get to be with the entire family, like we did the Thanksgiving scene with Marlon Wayans, that was so much fun, even though there's such long days. But my favorite moment this season is definitely singing Ain't No Mountain High Enough in the kitchen.
Nice. What would you tell the rising actress or creative that would like to go into showbiz or TV and they're just sort of starting out?
I'd say this is the best time to be your own movie star. You know, you have a camera. You know, I'm gonna talk like everyone else.
Yeah.
The data came out that the creator economy is going to be $1 trillion economy. That
Oof.
means if you unite with the right people, that can be you. You don't
Mm.
even need anyone to greenlight you, which means you can't be a shadow artist. You have to do your idea. Don't worry about it being perfect. Get it out and you iterate as you go. But what holds so many people back is that they need it to be perfect. Doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be done so you can have a Rolodex of everything that you've executed.
Thank you so much, Cassandra. I've learned so much in just a short amount of time. I think we're almost out of time, but thank you so much for sharing a moment with me. And thank you to the team for having me.
Thanks, Melissa. Thank you for the time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.